Welcome to your 12 Python tutorial, and in this video we're going to take a look at functions in Python. So what are functions? A function is a block of code which only runs when it's being called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function, and that function can return that data as a result. So in simple words, a function is a block of code that performs a specific task. The idea is to put some commonly or repeatedly done tasks together and make a function, so that instead of writing the same code again and again for different inputs, we can do the function calls to reuse that code containing it over and over again. So let's go in and see how we can define a function in Python. And the way we do this is by using the def keyword, which stands for define. And here we can specify the function name and with a parenthesis and then a colon. Now we hit enter. You can see it automatically indents for us, and here whatever is inside this indentation is recognized as part of the function, and whatever right outside this indentation is not part of the function, so we have to indent. Now we can specify what we want to do here. We can say print, and over here we're going to say hello world. Oh, let's spell that. Hello world. Now we are done. What we need to do is to call this function, or to invoke this function for it to run this specific task for us. So the way we do this is by calling the function by saying greet and with this parentheses over here. And let's run this file now. Well, let's use my command prompt, and here you can see it says hello world. So first we define the function and we'll specify what we want this function to do, and here we invoked that function to do this task for us. So this is how it works in Python. So we can also call this function multiple times. So let's go here. You can call this function multiple times, and from to run this code again, you can see hello world, hello world, hello world. So you can call this function multiple times and use this code over and over again in our code. Now we can also pass data into a function, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's just get rid of this, and inside this greet function we can pass in these parameters. So I'm going to pass a name parameter and our time parameter, and here I'm going to make use of this parameter. So I'm going to say print. I'm here. So you can pass in these parameters here. You can say good, can pass in name and time, but there is no need doing that, so we can make this more original. So I'm going to use a string formatting here, and here I'm going to say good time. So whatever it is at the time of the day, I'm going to say good time name, how are you? So here you can see what our function contains. A string formatting, it says good time name, how are you? So let's call this function here function greet, and now we have to pass in this name and time variable, these parameters. We're going to pass in the value as an argument here. So I'm going to say the name is going to be Ben. In a string, say the name is going to be Ben, and the time of day is going to be, let's say, morning. And now save this file. Let's run this file now. Clear my console, and here you can see it says good morning Ben, how are you? So You can see we specify the name, the parameter over here, the name to be Ben and the time of the day to be morning. So it says good time name here, and it's kind of substituted this thing and it says good morning Ben. So this is how we can pass data into a function. So now I want to make this a bit more interactive. I want to allow the user to pass in the name and the time of day. So over here outside this function, I'm going to define two variables called name, and here I'm going to name and time, and so I'm going to make an input here. I'm going to say enter your name. And time set equal to an input to I'm going to say enter the time of day, and now this is done. Now we can pass in these two variables as arguments inside this function. So instead of saying good morning Ben, how are you, so we can make, what if the user's name is not Ben, what if it's something else, so we can allow the user to pass in that data in there by themselves. So I'm gonna specify this name here and the time. So this is the two variables here. So but it shouldn't be just name, it can be X, it can be Y, it can be whatever variable name you choose, but I just choose this name and time to be more original. So let's run this file now. You can see it says enter your name. I can see Bella, and it says enter a time of day. You can see evening, and it says good evening Bella, how are you? So you can see this is now a bit more interactive than the previous one. So I want to show you something else. So what if we don't want to pass an argument here into the function? What is going to be done? So what if we just clear off this argument here, and let's run this to see what it's going to be. So let's clear this file now. So it's python app.py. It's going to say enter a name. I'm going to say Ben this time. Enter a time of day. Let's just say noon. And you're going to see we get some error over here. It says missing two required positional arguments. So we have to pass in something here. So what if the user doesn't pass in anything here? So what we're going to do, we're going to set a default parameter here. We're going to say something default. So in case something wasn't passed in here, it's going to default to that. And the way we do that is by doing it here, by setting this name equal to something. So we're going to say this name now is equal to Ben. Here is a default parameter, and the time of the day here should default to morning, should in case we do not pass in an argument. So we're going to say morning. And now let's run this code again. Clear my console, and you can see it says enter a name. Let's just enter a time of day, and it says we do not pass in any we didn't pass any data in there. It says enter a name, we skipped, enter a time of day, we skipped, and it says good morning Ben, how are you? So we didn't pass in any data there, but it defaulted to this Ben and morning. So this is how to set a default parameter in a function. So what if we now pass in some data in here? So what's going to be done? So that data is going to override this default one. So let's see. So let's say Jane in a string, Jane, and let's say here noon. run this code again. It says enter your name. Oh, sorry, we do not, since it's now interactive, we just need to pass these variables in here. So we're going to pass in the variable name and the time. And now we can run this code again. It says enter your name. I'm going to say Jane. Enter time of day, noon. And you can see it says good noon, Jane, how are you? So it didn't go back to this default parameter. This one we're passing here over write it. So this is how we can set the default parameter in Python if we do not pass data here. But what if we just want one thing here, we just want to default to something here and just passing another thing over here? So let's see, we want to default to the time. So we can set our name here, can set it equal, or our name parameter is gonna be this variable here, name. So whatever we pass into that variable is gonna be stored here. So let's run it now. And it says enter your name. I'm gonna say Jane. Enter the time of day. I'm gonna skip this, and it's gonna say good morning, Jane. How are you? So here Jane was a variable. The data was stored in this variable, and here morning was the default parameter in here. And you can see, well, I spelled it wrong, so but that doesn't matter. I just hope you get the concept of this. So now we know the basics of functions in Python. Now let's do something else. Let's make a function or write a function that calculates the area of a circle for us. So let's do that. We're going to still stick with this function grades, or let's not use that. Let's say area, since it's the area of a circle. And here, the area of a circle is a pi r squared. So we're going to specify our radius in here as a parameter. And here, I'm going to print it out. I'm going to say the area of a circle is pi r squared, and pi, is 3 points. Let's use 3.142. And I'm going to say times radius times radius. So that is radius raised to power of 2. So times radius and times radius. So here we're gonna call that function now. We're gonna say area. And here we're gonna pass in the radius we want to calculate. So we're gonna say our radius is gonna be 5. And now clear my console. Here you see 78.5. So you can see how this function worked. It's calculated the area of a circle for us. So what if we were to change this radius to something 10, run again, and you can see the results over here. So let's make this a bit more interactive. Instead of passing this default radius here, we can ask user for some radius and use that in the function. So I'm going to define a radius variable here. I'm going to set it equal to an input. So, but since we're going to pass in a number in here, we're going to specify it as an integer. So I'm going to say input, and inside here, I'm going to say enter the radius. Then inside this function, we're gonna pass in this as an argument. We're gonna pass in the radius as an argument. So let's run this code again. Like I said, enter the radius, and we're gonna say 5. And you're gonna see we still get 78 points. 5. Now we can also run this again, enter the radius, can use something like 20, we're gonna say 1256.8. So this is now a bit more interactive. So let's do something else. So what if we want to also calculate the volume? Let's calculate the volume of a cylinder, and you know the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared L. So the area of a circle times length. And here we already have the area of a circle function. So here I'm gonna create another function for the volume of a cylinder, and here I'm gonna say def volume vol, and here I'm gonna pass in the area and the length parameter. Now here I'm gonna print it out. I'm gonna see the volume of the cylinder is the area of a circle times the length. So I'm gonna times length. So now we have to make use of this area of a circle. But first we have to specify this length variable here. So we ask the user for the length and also an int compute, enter the length. And as you all know, while we ran this area function, all we were doing was printing this to the console. But what if we want to use this code again and again in our future code? So how we're gonna do this? Instead of printing this out to the console, what we can do is we can return this statement here. And we will do this is by using the return keyword. So we can return this code here, this line of code, and we can use this any other time in our code. So whenever you return something like this, whenever you return a code in Python, we have to store it in a variable so we can reuse that code or that variable again and again. So we're gonna store this in a variable area calc. So the calculation of the area, I'm gonna set it equal to this. So we return this value here and we store it here in this variable here and set it equal to this area function. So now we can call on this volume function here. So here we can now specify the area of the circle, which is now area calc, and now we can also specify the length of that cylinder. So this code is done. What we did here, we have two functions here. One is to calculate for the area of the circle, and here is for the volume of the cylinder. So we are calculating for the volume of the cylinder, and the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared L, which is the area of a circle times length. We can see it over here, area times length. So now we return this area of a circle so we can use it inside this function. I will return it inside this variable to store this area function inside this area calc. And now we've called on this volume function, and we see the volume is area of a circle times length. So we call area calc the length. So let's run this code now. Let's clear this console. It says enter the radius, so I'm gonna say 5. Enter the length. Let's see, and you can see the volume of the cylinder is now 549.85. Can 4 1, and you can get different results. So this is a basic way to show you how functions work in Python. So we're gonna be using this a lot more as we go ahead in this tutorial. So go over and over again and grab this, and I hope you get the concepts. Thank you. One more thing I want to show you is we can pass a function inside a function, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So instead of storing this area function into this area calc, we can pass it directly into this volume function, and we can just clear this here, and you see we've eliminated some bit of code. And now let's run this. We still got the same results: 5, 10. So okay, 5 and 1. So let's run again. 5 and here 10. You can see we get same thing here. So this is function in a bit. Go ahead and practice.